Hey, everybody. We're going to tell you an incredible story tonight. The story of How I Met Your Mother, Season 1. Welcome to Recapping the Past. Finally, we are done with Saved by the Bell, and we are on to what, in my opinion, is one of the greatest TV shows of all time, How I Met Your Mother, Season 1. As usual, I'm joined by my good friend, Ben. Ben, are you as excited as I am?
I kept when you talk about the wait for it, Dairy Show.
Damn right. And I'm going to bring something. Earlier today, you asked on your social medias, what's more iconic, Doogie Howser or Barney Stinson? I'm going to say Barney Stinson just on something you said. Legend, wait for it, dairy. Think about all the things that Barney Stinson has given the pop culture zeitgeist. Legendary, wait for it. Have you met Ted? Please. Now, can you say the same for Doogie Howser?
He might have given us a first vlog on TV.
Fair enough. Really, the thing I'll give Doogie Howser, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the concept of smart kid becoming a doctor.
Right,
Right? But when it comes to iconic status, it's hands down this show. It's hands down Barney Stinson.
Okay, I'll go with you on that.
Yeah. Now, again, more iconic favorite, two different things. For me, they follow both into the same category because I never watched Doogie Howser growing up. I was aware of it, but I never watched it.
Oh, and you don't have Hulu. Damn.
No, because we're in the Stone Age up here in Canada. But anyways, we are on to How I Met Your Mother, which started in 2005, the year we graduated high school, which I don't know how old that makes you feel.
Man, when I realized he hit that Smallville fucking series finale, my back started to hurt.
Your back, not your hip. Okay, so How I Met Your Mother, like I said, started in 2005. Basically, it was inspired by the two creators, Carter Bays and Craig Thomas's idea to write about our friends and the stupid stuff we did in New York, which they had where they had lived when they worked. They used to work on the Letterman show back in the day. So this is what I'm getting off Wikipedia. The two drew from their friendship in creating the characters. Ted is based loosely on Bays, and Marshall and Lily are based loosely on Thomas and his wife. Thomas's wife, Rebecca, was initially reluctant to have a character based on her, but agreed if they could get Allison Hannigan to play her. And so because she was looking to do more comedy, she was easily available. Josh Radnor and Jason Segel, who are Ted and Marshall, were not well known at the time, although by that point, Segel had done Freaks and Geeks and had appeared on Undeclared. It's true. Okay. Going into this, this is the show that launched Jason Segel. And and then of course you've got Bob Saget, who voices older Ted, which I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's a little weird. I don't know why they never got Josh Radnor to just voice the older Ted, because future spoilers, in the very final episode, you see older Ted and it is Josh Radnor.
How would you found if we saw future Ted and if it was Bob Saget?
Now that's the thing though, because throughout the episodes we do see future Ted in moments, and it is Josh Radnor. So I don't know how I would have felt if it would have been Bob Saget, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't think I'd have been very upset. I don't think it would have upset me, to be honest.
Oh, what about this?
It's kind of like Daniel Stern in the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this? What if we saw Josh Radnor in the series finale? Sounding like Bob Saget cough, and then
that would have been too much. That would have been way. Oh, okay, that would have been funny. I thought you were going to go with it had just been Josh Radnor with Bob Saget's voice, because I think that would have just been too jarring for everybody. But yeah, that would have been funny. He coughs in his normal voice. That would actually have been good. Sorry?
Kind of wonderful.
Oh, If only we had connection to these guys. So yeah, back to the casting. The role of Barney was originally envisioned as a John Belushi type character before Neil Patrick Harris won the role, after being invited to an audition by the show's casting director. And then Pamela Fryman, who worked behind the scenes, invited Bob Saget to do the voiceover narrator, explained to him that the show would be like the Wonder Years, but kind of into the future. Yeah, and let's see what they... Oh, in various interviews, this is going to blow your mind. Bays and Thomas have stated that a pretty famous actress turned down the role of Robin. I'm going to give you a guess who it is before I tell you.
I think I know. I think I knew it, and I forget. I'm trying to think. Who is big in 2005? Not Tiffany Fisher from Saved by the Bell.
You're not far off. She was famous in the 90s.
I think I knew. I can't remember.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you did guest star on an episode, right?
Jennifer Love Hewitt never appeared on How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, I'm not.
You might be mistaking her for Winnie from the Wonder Years.
No, I know. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm thinking of something else now.
And of course, as we all know, it went to Colby Smulders, who, when I first saw the pilot episode, I was like, "Oh shit, she was in an episode of Smallville." Basically, I'm no joke, because I think it was around the same time, within about a year of each other.
Yeah,
so it was still pretty fresh in my mind.
And it was in season 4 of Smallville, so they might have gotten her.
Yeah, so it's within the
same time. Yeah, the timing works out.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, it's kind of hard to envision this 5 without these actors. They were so perfect for this role.
Absolutely.
And although Ted is initially smitten by Robin in the pilot, it is quickly established at the end of the episode that she is not the mother, which Thomas said was done, so they would not repeat the will they or won't they Ross and Rachel storyline from Friends, which they kind of did. Anyways.
They kind of borrowed quite a few stuff from Friends, but...
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Hands down, do you have a favorite character?
From here? From How
I Met Your Mother.
Okay, so the one I relate to the most is Ted, but my favorite character is Barney.
Okay.
Does that work for you? Because I mean, like, I could never see myself being a Barney Stinson character type.
Yeah,
I'm the best character in the show, in my opinion. What about you?
I think Marshall. I love Marshall.
Marshall is a great character. Like,
don't get me wrong, Barney's great, and he always makes me laugh. But there's something about Marshall that just edges him up for me.
He's very good at playing the naivety, being very naive. I can't pronounce it right now. Yeah. And here's the thing: none of the major 5 are bad at all.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so according to an Entertainment Weekly article, the writers adapted facets of each actor's personalities and incorporated them into their characters, which includes Neil Patrick Harris' skills with magic, which I don't know if you've ever read his magic book, but it's phenomenal. Jason Segel's passion for songwriting, which we will see later on in the Thanksgiving Slap episode. Allison Hannigan's absent-mindedness while pregnant, because she was pregnant during the show. And Josh Redner's intellectual...
So is Colby Smulders.
Correct.
At the same time.
Yeah, and another fun fact: if I'm not mistaken, every single one of their spouses appeared in the show, except for I think Josh Radnor. And I don't know; I'm not 100% sure on.
I don't know about him.
But you had Neil Patrick Harris's husband, who played Scooter. Yeah. You had Allison Hannigan's husband, who played Sandy Rivers. And then you had Colby Smulders' husband, who played what's the character's name?
Plowman?
Yeah, Gary Plowman. Yeah. Okay, so a little fun fact: this show inspired something I did in my real life. I realized I didn't have any pictures hanging around of me and my friends. So this opening credit, it's actually inspired me to have a friend wall. So on my one wall in my hallway, I've got pictures of me and my friends from, it turns out it's from the 2 wedding weekends in our group, but it is us in very good times.
Nice.
Okay, so shall we get into it?
Sure. Wonder.
Okay. Do you want to do the top 5 first, or do you want to do the best Barney scam? Do you want to do that, or do you want to do that afterwards?
Up to you.
Okay. If the episode if the episode comes up, we will bring it up then. If not, we'll do it at the end. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So we'll start off with you. What is your number 5, Ben?
My number 5 is the season 1 finale episode, Come On.
Punt.
Okay.
My number 5, best prom ever.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so in this, I've accidentally got rid of the IMDb page. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
So in this episode, Lily is freaking out because they haven't booked the band yet for the wedding, for Marshall and Lily's wedding, and unfortunately, the only way the band will pretty much they have to go see the band, and the only way they can go see it is at a prom. And so Lily and Robin get in, and they manage to sneak into the prom by essentially bribing some high schoolers to go as their dates, which has hilarity in itself. Barney spends the whole evening trying to break into the prom, doing like all these shenanigans. He actually manages to get in dressed as the school mascot. And then when he sees Ted and Marcia, he's like, "How'd you guys get in?" "Oh, just snuck in the back."
Now,
And
let me pause you for one second.
at this point, Robin is pretty upset with Ted. They're very much on the rocks because of what Ted did to him. And spoilers, because I know it's going to come up later, to his girlfriend Victoria.
Let me pause you for 1 second.
All right, time out.
Time out, exactly. What about boys waiting outside? When he does his friend was at the snow? Wait, no.
No, that's another episode. That's in this season. That's a different episode.
When he and Sam Levine?
No, Sam Levine is okay. There's an episode that's on my honorable mention list, which is Okay Awesome. It's the one where they're going in the club. That's the one with Sam Levine.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin Starr appears in the episode where Lily gets stabbed by the bayonet.
Okay.
Remember Robin was on the date?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Martin Starr said something nerdy in Klingon. The whole restaurant turned on her. Yeah. So basically, what I love about this episode is you kind of get Robin and Ted are starting to heal their friendship a little bit. And then you get to see the lengths that Lily and Marshall are going to go through with their wedding. And the band, the 88th, that they go to see, actually provided music for the show.
Oh, nice.
They're actually a real band. Yes. What are your thoughts on this episode?
It's a great episode. Correct me if I'm wrong. At this point in the season, we're really starting to have doubts, so we're not quite yet.
Doubts? What do you mean by doubts?
For the wedding.
Because this is the third to last episode. No, it's the next episode.
Okay.
The next
okay.
I had to go back and look at the list here.
We're here to share about the
This is the one before.
So,
But you slightly start to see the cracks a little bit with Lily freaking out, but you really get that in the next episode.
now let me ask you. If you didn't know about that, if you didn't know about the next episode, and you see this episode, did that episode feel like it came out of nowhere? Or so this episode started planting the seeds for that?
It started planting the seeds a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, Lily's just freaking the shit out, right?
Right.
Okay, so what is your number 4?
My number 4 is drum roll.
That's my number 4 as well.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. All right, take it away.
This episode, came back from the wedding. Ted had an amazing night with this beautiful girl. He told the guy he didn't get her name, and he wanted that you need to be perfect, but at the same time he still would like you pursue the relationship. So the whole episode of is him trying to figure out who this mystery girl is.
Yeah.
You want to take it from here?
Of course. So this is actually a part 2 of a two-parter, because basically originally the gang goes to the wedding of their friends Claudia and Stuart. Now the crux is when Ted originally got the invitation, he had mistakenly thought he'd put a +1, which it turns out he didn't, but he was trying to beg Claudia to let him bring Robin because he's trying to win Robin's heart at this point. Robin originally says yes because, as it's been shown at this point in the series, she too has feelings for Ted. However, at the last minute, her job calls and tells her, like, we need you to come in and do this ASAP. It's, of course, big career move because she's about to do the news properly at the desk. So, of course, she goes. So Ted ends up going single. And this is where he meets Victoria, who it is revealed is later, at the very end of the drumroll, please, is revealed that she is the person that baked the cake. Now, unbeknownst to Ted, while he is schmoozing with Victoria, they go off on their own separate thing, play the piano, they dance, they get to know each other, that sort of thing. Like, sparks are flying. Unbeknownst to either of them, Robin showed up and saw this. And she goes into the bathroom crying. Right. Which, for me, it was, for the longest time, this was the episode, was the hardest one for me to get past because of Robin breaking down. Now, here's the thing. The whole episode, Ted is trying to figure out who she is. And it turns out Robin's the one who knows. Because while she's in the bathroom crying, Victoria walks in, offers her the bouquet, tries to cheer her up. Robin asks her, whose side are you on? Are you bride or groom? She's like, I'm the person that baked the cake. And once that is revealed, all the pieces fall in together. It turns out that the code name she used with Ted, Cupcake, is the name of her bakery. And that's how it's like, oh my God. So he rushes to her and he enters the thing and he's standing there dressed exactly as how he said he would be, in a shirt that's got stains all over it, ratty pairs of jeans. She turns him. Oh, thank God. And they run into each other's arms and they embrace. Now, this is where I was telling you this piece of trivia comes in. The series received an initial order of 13 episodes. Because early episodes got mediocre ratings, the writers wrote this episode so that if the show got canceled, they could gracefully end the series with Victoria being the mother. The plan was to have Ted enter the bakery, Victoria saying, oh, thank God, them kissing, and then older Ted saying in a voiceover, and that, kids, is the story of How I Met Your Mother. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually filmed that reveal with older Ted and older Victoria. I've heard that's what's filmed.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which, if you learn that and you look at this episode, it makes total sense.
And okay, wow.
Didn't know that, did you?
No.
Yeah.
And, okay. I have my own thoughts about the ending.
I will throw one more thing in, though. It's funny because in an earlier, what's it, the Thanksgiving episode earlier or after this?
I think it was before that.
Yeah, so it was before this. So in the Thanksgiving episode, when Ted plays that joke of, and that's how I met your mother, the stripper's name was TM, which is revealed later on that Tracy is the actual mother's name. So kind of a little bit of it's a little weird when you think about it, like Victoria and then Tracy. But
it works. So when they embrace each other at the end, oh thank God!
I still cheer, and I've seen that episode. I don't know how many times.
You know what that reminded me of?
I Got Off the Plane.
I got off the plane.
Yeah. Which is still one of the most chill-inducing moments in TV.
Yeah.
Because did she get off the plane? Like, tell me, what happened? Did you get off the plane? I got off the plane. Ah! Yeah, you're right. It very reminiscent of that. It gives me the same feelings. Both of them give me the same feelings.
Only this one didn't end on a lame joke. Like, I got off the plane then.
Yeah, but I may be lame, but man, was that a great payoff. Like, just thinking about it right now, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why it's on number 4 episode, I guess. From what I mean. I mean, good.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, and of course we got Marshall and his love for food. He's while Ted's trying to figure out who the girl is. Marshall's like, "Hey, find out who did the cake." Well,
Yeah.
no, same person. Okay, so we both have the same number 4. So what is your number 3?
Really for turkey.
Sorry, which one? Belly full of turkey.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not on my list at all or audible mention.
Okay. So the king celebrates Thanksgiving. Well, 4 out of the 5, because Robin is Canadian, she only celebrated Thanksgiving in October. Am I
Yeah,
getting that right?
and which is correct. And ours Thanksgiving doesn't celebrate what would eventually become mass genocide, but that's besides the point. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to look that up. Why I'm actually not sure what it is, but why I'm going to look up why our Thanksgiving is different.
Okay, why do you do that like in the episode? Lily and Marshall go to Marshall's parents' house for Thanksgiving. Marshall is the smallest of his 3 brothers. Side note, I love the brothers. I just love whenever we see all 3 of them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll flashback or whatever. And the whole time, Lily's nervous because she might be pregnant, not this isn't known to anyone. While all that is going on, and Ted, Robin, and Barney end up serving food at a soup kitchen, right? And Ted and Robin are shocked to learn Barney is like employee of the month there. Everybody loves him, and the whole episode, well, the majority of the episode, Ted and Robin trying to figure out why, and then they finally knew, and they see he actually got a signature, he got ends being court ordered for him to serve
Why?
community service.
Why was he court ordered?
He went pee in a playground, right?
Which, yes, public urination, which I'm glad I never got arrested for because I have done it once while drunk. Funny enough, on the fence of a Catholic school.
So, I did love this episode. I love seeing what the possible future for Marsha and Lily could be, talking about kids, seeing Marsha's family for the first time. And then a really great episode. What are your thoughts on this, Matt?
It is definitely a great episode. It's probably, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time we've seen Barney try to be a suck up. I don't know if that's the right word to call it, because he's playing it off as if he's here to do a good thing. And just the way he acts in the soup kitchen, it's the first time we see that, which we will see later on in the series. And I just love how when Ted and Robin try to do the right thing, it's revealed that everybody fucking steals. And what was it? Barney was like 30 hours away from finishing his community service. Yeah. He was really pissed. And then they go to the strip club, and if you want to do a good service today, Ted, buy him a lap dance. Okay, so here is what I found about why Canadian Thanksgiving is different than Americans. So it turns out our Thanksgiving might actually be older.
Okay.
So the earliest recorded Canadian Thanksgiving celebration dates back to 1578 after Martin Frobisher's third explorer voyage to Canada. Now, I knew it had something to do with Frobisher. After losing one of his ships along the way, he apparently had a big celebration to give thanks for the safe passage when he landed in Nunavut. This was years ahead of the first recorded U.S. feast between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans at Plymouth in 1621. So it turns out ours is older, which I actually didn't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. And as it will come up later in the show, there's going to be a lot of Canadian stereotypes things. And being Canadian, Ben is going to ask me whether or not most of these are true.
What?
Very few are true.
There's one I'm really, really can't really ask you about.
I can't wait to figure out which one that is.
Okay. So what's your number 3, Matt?
Game night.
Great episode. Great episode.
Yes, Game Night is hands down one of the best episodes of the season. So this takes place after, drumroll please, Ted and Victoria have started dating. Now, what basically they like to have a game night, but Marshall's not allowed to play because he always wins, which I can relate to with trivia games. So he creates his own game of Marshgammon, which I'm not going to explain because I still don't know how it's played. But what happens is this is Victoria's first night hanging out with the gang. So Ted is like, please, guys, don't give her the third degree. What does Marshall do? He gives her the third degree via questions in the game. And so we learn a little bit about Victoria, but we learn a little something about Barney as well. We learn the origins of the suited Barney Stinson.
Oh.
And basically what happened is he was a hippie once upon a time. He wanted to go to Nicaragua, or however the hell he pronounced it. He was going to go into the Peace Corps with his girlfriend at the time, whose name is Shannon.
Right.
As it's time to go, she sends him a note saying she can't go. Her dad won't let her, blah, blah, blah. When he goes back to the restaurant, he finds Shannon talking to an older gentleman who, for some reason, assumes this is her dad until they start making it. Now, this particular gentleman had come in earlier in the episode, like a few weeks prior to this incident, and he's basically Barney. Always going for the piece of ass, always trying to get everybody, I'm better than you, that type of thing.
High five.
High five, exactly. So when Barney sees this, he completely snaps and he does a full Darth Vader, gets his hair cut, shaves the goatee, suits up, and he even rises up like Darth Vader. And if I'm not mistaken, they even use the noise.
I'm pausing you for 1 second. I love that homage. I love all the Star Wars homages in the show.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
And so while Barney's revealing this story, he bribes the rest of the gang. I will give you more of this story if you tell me the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. Unfortunately, we didn't hear Victoria's because apparently it was very bad.
That's the one I'm really wanting to hear.
Yeah. So basically, it's Barney tells the story, and it's revealed that after he stormed out of the Marshgammon session before he starts telling the gang the story, he found Shannon, and he told her, like, look, this is who I am. I wanted to show you what I have become after all these years. At the end of the episode, what's revealed? He screwed her, and he reported it. And that's the episode of Game Night. We learn the origin of Barney Stinson.
Now,
and future spoilers, this comes back around in the last season.
Oh yeah, please.
Exactly, and we will reveal that when it is time, 8 weeks from now.
What did I hear? You need to see, when everybody left the ball, you need to see a hint of Barney's true feelings.
Yeah.
When he's looking at Shannon's kids, he's like, maybe I could have ended up like that. Or that in a second.
And to add on to what you just said, this is one of the few instances where we see that what we know of Barney Stinson is him trying to overcompensate for his insecurities.
Right.
And boy, is he overcompensating.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your number? Your number 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Number 2.
The Slendy Pumpkin.
Not on my list.
Oh.
But this has my favorite Barney pickup.
Really?
Yes. It is him trying to pick up that same girl in 3 different costumes.
Oh, God.
As the Top Gun pilot, as the Horny Devil, and then the Penguin. But what makes it for me is when we first see Barney in his first costume, you hear Ted open the door. You hear, I went through the danger zone. And he walks in like slow-mo, takes off his glasses. Oh, it was beautiful. This is where like, okay, this is Barney.
Yep.
This is what we get.
How do I describe this episode? When 1 year or 3 years ago in the show, do you remember how long it was?
I believe it was 5.
Well, okay.
Because Okay, so this episode takes place in 2005. Ted's costume references the hanging chad of the Florida election of 2000.
Yeah, well, okay.
We're old.
Yeah. And I way on Ted's side until I realized he's been doing it for 5 years. Maybe you should have moved on before that.
Maybe.
Um, quick note about the episode, he meets somebody, they hit it off, she gives him a phone number, he
On a
goes
chocolate
to
bar.
what?
She gives it to him on a chocolate bar.
A chocolate bar. He goes to show Marshall and Lily, something, I forget what happened exactly, but
Okay, so he drops the bar down. They don't know it's got the number, so they give it to a trick-or-treater. And then Ted goes out and accosts the trick-or-treaters.
I have to admit, my favorite moments of this episode, they already called out. And the funny stuff.
Of course.
Him as Top Gun, him as the devil, and him as Penguin.
Because the Slutty Pumpkin went to Antarctica to study penguins. So he dressed up as a penguin to prove a point to Ted.
Right. I forgot that.
Now, for me, the weak part of this episode is the Robin storyline.
Yeah.
It's not the best.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's great character development, but how it was played out, I wasn't a fan of.
You know, like how Lily and Marshall were with him said about reading gift certificate in a
no, that was perfectly awesome. I'm talking like Robin specifically.
Okay.
Because how she's got a date who dresses up for things for Halloween, but she's not really a relationship type person. She's more of a me thing. She won't share her food. She won't dress up for Halloween. Yada yada yada.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, the way it played off. I don't know. And I don't know why, but this actor looked like Adam Gertler to me.
Yeah, I see that, I think.
Yeah, it's not just looked, but it looked like Adam Gertler.
Who is it? I'm just curious.
His name is Jeremy Gabriel. Let's see what else he appeared in. He did some Mindhunter. He actually has. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 credits to his name.
He must. Sorry, whoever you are. He must not be not that good.
Yeah, I guess not. But here's a little bit of trivia for you. The name on Barney's flight suit is Glenn Matthews, the same name the janitor gives to JD in the series finale of Scrubs.
Oh shit! No.
Now they're not connected, but it's a fun little Easter egg.
Sadly, because I put in this out last week and you said I couldn't do this. That's not the series finale of Scrubs.
That's right.
It was in that episode, but it was not the series finale of Scrubs. I wish it was.
Would have made sense, but unfortunately, as we know, it wasn't. Which we will be covering eventually. I know that.
Yeah.
And spoilers, I have not seen that final season.
We'll talk about how necessary that final season is because camera stuff.
Yeah.
What is your number 2?
My number 2 is the series season finale. Come on.
Oh. I wonder if we have that in number 1.
It's maybe. Okay, so you want to take this one?
No, because I on you that you can take it.
Okay. This is going to go straight from IMDb again because it's easier for me to do that than for me to go Greg Miller and remember it because as a stoner, my memories turn to shit. Okay. Ted, feeling once again that Robin is the girl for him, decides to make one last ditch attempt to win her heart by performing a grand gesture. His plan entails waiting for her in her apartment, which he can only do by borrowing Lily's spare key. With one small glitch, Ted is able to pull off his grand gesture. Overwhelmed, Robin doesn't know how to respond. Her answer, with Ted only accepting a yes or no with no in between, takes into consideration a work issue. To help Robin make up her mind, Ted feels like he has to produce an act of God, with a little help from one of Barney's old girlfriends who would rather see Barney dead than help him. Shock. Meanwhile, this for me is the strong part of the episode. Marshall finds out that Lily applied for a summer-long archfellowship in San Francisco when he listens to a voice message left on their answering machine that offers her the position. As the two argue over what it means for their relationship and their upcoming wedding, neither has the heart to finish the conversation for fear of its possible outcome. Now, the best, as heartbreaking it is and as about close to tears as I am right now, the best part of this episode is the very end. Robin and Ted have finally gotten together. He's walking home. It's pouring rain because that was the act of God. He had to make it rain, and he did. He shows up. Marshall's been sitting on the stoop all night in the rain. Without saying a word, he just holds up the engagement ring. Relationship over.
Yeah.
Without any words, Jason Segel conveys everything that happened in one look. And it is I'd say for me, this is Jason Segel's second best performance.
I think I know that, but all that they're getting to me.
And we'll get to why I think it's his best performance.
Yeah.
But hands down, this was the best part of the episode. Was the Marshall and Lily storyline.
Because of that great look, we didn't get the breakup scene then, right?
We never did, and you know what? We didn't need it. In my opinion, we didn't need it because we got everything we needed from that one.
You're right. My mind came up because I thought I remember seeing it, but maybe
we saw them fight. We saw a breakup mentioned, but we never saw the breakup itself. We never saw Lily leave.
Mind blown. Wow.
And it's moments like this that How I Met Your Mother is my favorite TV show of all time. Because it is hysterically funny. But when it needs to be serious, it flips that switch. And it's in a whole nother ballgame.
Yep.
What about you? What do you think of this? So this was also on your list. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I can't put it any more elegant than you did. And it's a great episode. I love the amount of effort Ted puts in. You're winning Robin. You're winning, well, I don't want to say that yet, but yeah, I mean, the whole season, for middle years, he had one goal. You get Robin to go after him. And you think that finally happened. It was beautiful for me.
Yeah. For one thing to flourish, another thing had to end.
And I think Ted said that in that narration.
Now, here's a funny little anecdote for you. One member of the orchestra is complaining that the pizza Ted promised is not going to happen. He may be right. Ted is so much preoccupied with Robin and the rain quest that he probably forgot all about the pizzas. Okay. So enough of a bummer. Let's do the honorable mentions. You first.
I don't have any.
Okay, I've got 3.
Okay.
Life Among the Gorillas.
Okay.
Okay, Awesome, which is the one where they go to the club and Barney dances with his cousin.
Yeah.
Very suggestively.
You didn't kiss? They don't kiss.
No. They don't kiss. Okay. And probably one of the most heartbreaking episodes of the series. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is where the conflict I mentioned earlier about Ted and Robin happened. Because Victoria had accepted a fellowship in Germany to go to a culinary school.
Yeah.
The whole long distance thing wasn't really going to work. Ted finds out that Robin is in love with him. he's like, oh shit. He's convinced that Victoria's going to break it off with him. So he sits at home and he's waiting for a phone call from her that she was supposed to get, but that never happened. So Robin calls him up and say, hey, Ted, do you want to come over? He goes over. And when she asks him, did you break up with Victoria? He says, yes. Turns out they both have the same phone. So while he goes into the bathroom to have an imaginary argument with Victoria, he comes out.
Okay, I'm really hearing about it. I can't listen to it.
Guess who called Ted's phone? Victoria. Guess whose phone Ted took with him into the bathroom to pretend to break up with her? Robin's. So she kicks him out, and that's the end of that. She was mad at him for a long time, and you know what? I don't blame her.
Okay.
Right home, Ted finally breaks up with Victoria, but it is easily one of the hardest episodes to get through.
So let me ask you this. I have to ask you this. Which episode is harder to get through? Nothing good happened at 2 a.m. Or the one where Rachel found out why she cheated on her with a company girl.
Sorry, what was the last part?
The one where Rachel finds out about what? The whole we were on the break thing.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna go this one with one reason only, because in that Ross and Rachel episode, when she said, "I need a break," that could easily be misconstrued as we're broken up, whereas Ted did this on purpose.
Okay. Okay.
One of my good friends, Ariel, as much as she loves the show as much as I do, but the one thing she always says is Ted is a cad. And throughout this episode, he proves that he may be a good guy, but he does some dumb shit. And that's the first time he does it.
Yep.
Okay. Now, enough about that. What is your number one?
Before I do my number one, I want to reveal my number one funny moment. It was Ted's birthday. And came in at the table. Bonnie sees a hot girl, and as I'm present, where I'm handed. As I'm present, he hands you Ted. I will give you the gift of me using the best pickup line ever. So Bonnie rushes to this girl, panics, paramedics come in, and they're taking her out, and he's like, we do some alcohol, we do some stuff. She keeps saying, what are you talking about? I'm okay. He's like, you're delirious. Here, drink some water. She keeps saying, I'm okay. Bonnie's like, are you here? Because you just fallen from heaven.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Bonnie. Might have been a paramedic, but someone started chatting.
Barney, give him your number. Give him your number. The number, and it turns out everyone was in on it. The paramedics were actors. Wendy was in on it. I forgot that was this season. That. As much as I love the Top Gun moment, that's the best one of the season.
And here's the cherry on top. You know who played the actors?
No.
In the producers of the show. He and his business partner.
What episode is that?
It's 121.
121? Oh,
Season 1, episode 21. I forget the name of the episode.
It's not the pineapple incident, is it?
No, it let me look.
21.
I think it's 21.
Oh, it's Milk. It's the one where Robin has, where Lily has the. Yeah, and you're right. It is Carter Bays and Craig Thomas. I did not know that.
There you go.
Right on.
Okay, my number one, the pilot.
My number one as well.
I wasn't sure for a second. I thought you were going to say, the pineapple incident.
Nope. The pilot episode. But the pilot sets the tone for everything.
100%
I'm sure
agree.
Robin gets they all get character development, but a lot of the things we know about Robin will come out later. But in this episode, everything we need to know about Marshall, we learn in this episode. Everything we need to know about Lily, we learn in this episode. Everything we need to learn about Ted, we learn in this episode. And pretty much we are introduced to who Barney is in this episode.
Right. And interesting fact, we never got Robin's name until the final scene of the episode.
Yeah.
The whole episode, they didn't get around it.
And one thing I noticed is that for the first few episodes, when they did say Robin's name, they pronounced it differently than what we know it as. We know it as Robin Scherbatsky, but for the first couple episodes, Barney calls her Scherbatsky.
Really? Was it only Barney or was it everybody?
I think I heard Ted say it a couple times as well.
Okay, because if it was only Barney, one could argue he was mocking that name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I have a recollection of Ted saying it.
No, you're probably right.
And also, this episode introduces us to one of the best recurring characters of the show.
Rashid!
Hello! Who in this episode is a taxi driver, but from every episode on, he's a limo driver who these guys hire as their chauffeur.
He got promoted.
Yeah, he's hired to start his own business. Yeah. No, this pilot episode is like top tier pilot episodes because it checks all the boxes of what you want of a pilot episode.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think this episode.
Sorry, go ahead.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Really, they had that Carl in this episode because a tiny part of her suspects is a vampire, right?
Well, that's the pineapple episode because that's how Ted gets extremely drunk.
Okay, well, that has a connection to her character from Buffy, apparently.
Which makes sense. Which is a little bit of a stretch, but it also makes sense. So here's some trivia for IMDb about that episode.
Bring it on.
So we got four of Barney's famous catchphrases in this episode. Name two of them.
Legendary?
Nope. That is from the Liberty Bell episode.
Okay. Well, have you met Ted?
Correct.
What up?
Yep. The other two, wait for it, and Suit Up.
Okay. Well. Okay.
So, like I said, right there, we got right off the bat who Barney is. 4 of his iconic catchphrases in the pilot. Okay. Marshall's character was originally supposed to be a hypochondriac, but it was dropped, however. When Marshall startles Lily on the couch before Ted walks in and tells him about his date with Robin, Marshall was supposed to tell Lily he had dog diabetes.
You know what? I kind of want to see that come out of Jason Segel's mouth. I can't think of it right, but I could see Jason Segel being able to pull that off.
100%. I'm glad it didn't go that route, but it would have been funny. And then this is a spoiler. Future spoilers. When explaining what he wants his future wedding to be like, Ted says that he wants a band, not a DJ. This connects to the episode in the 8th season, Band or DJ, in which Ted argues that Barney and Robin should have a DJ at their wedding. We later find out that Ted only wants Barney and Robin to have a DJ because he disapproves of their marriage.
I forgot about that.
The show can be deep. And this is a fun one for you, based on what we talked about earlier about Neil Patrick Harris. This episode was debuted on the same date, September 19th. 15 days, 2 weeks after my birthday. Holy shit. Debuted on the same date as Doogie Howser.
Fuck off.
Yep.
Well.
Okay, Ben. So, what do we got to look forward to in season 2?
Well, there's a little bit of shopping. There's a little bit of malls.
Yep. We meet Ted's parents.
We meet Ted's parents.
Yep.
We meet Robin's sister.
Yep.
Yeah.
We learned the stakes, the lengths they'll go to avoid the Super Bowl score.
We meet Ronnie's brother.
Correct. We also finally, no, yeah, you know what? The wedding, of course. Lily and Marshall's wedding. And actually, one of my favorite episodes, we find out that Lily is a Grinch.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
More on that later.
And also the start of one of the most iconic things from How I Met Your Mother.
I would say two of the most iconic things in season 2.
Oh yeah, I season 2, when you look at it and you watch it, there's a lot of iconic stuff in here.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also we meet Joe Manganiello as Brad. That's this season as well.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's not in season 1?
Season 2, Ted Mosby, architect.
Nice. And we get to meet Ted's boss, one Professor Walter White.
Correct. Who has some very interesting tastes in architecture. Okay. So looking at season 1, how would you rank season 1 when you compare it to season 1 of Friends, season 1 of Parks and Rec, season 1 of The Office, season 1 of a lot of the iconic sitcoms? Where would you rank it amongst them?
Okay, full disclosure, I have not seen Parks and Rec, so I'm taking that off the table right now.
Okay, we're going to change that with this series. And Parks and Rec is one of my all-time favorite shows as well.
I know, I get hate on it from everybody, but...
Don't worry, dude. I only came to it like 3 years ago. So
okay.
and you know what I did? I watched it back to back. I binged it, then I started again. I've never done that with a show before.
Nice. Okay. I actually like season 1 of How I Met Your Mother better than season 1 of Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I also... I don't know what I like better, this or The Office. I know The Office gets hate on. I love that first season.
I'm going to give it to this, as out of the list of what I gave, How I Met Your Mother has the best first season because everything, unlike Parks and Rec, the characters that we know aren't fully fleshed out in season 1. Same with The Office.
That's true.
Right? Same with The Office. Michael is way more of an asshole in season 1 than he is in others. Like, yes, he's still an asshole, but it's a different type of asshole. We don't quite fully get those characters fleshed out. Friends season 1, same thing. Like, yeah, we get the idea like who the characters are, but for me, season 1 of Friends is not that good, even though I love the show. This one is consistent from pilot to season finale.
Well, we're talking about comedy seasons?
Yeah, I'm talking sitcoms.
Okay, I'm putting on the same level. No. I wanted to put Seinfeld on that list, but Seinfeld only has like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it's a weird first season.
Yeah, I'm not going to count that. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
God, I'm so glad we're finally starting this series, and I can't wait to continue to watch because I can guarantee you, I could have this whole series done by next weekend if I wanted.
And that would be mentioned. Wait for it, Terry.
And on that note, thank you very much for everybody for joining us on our new venture into the bar of McLaren's of How I Met Your Mother. Ben, where can everybody find you?
You can find me right there at BenRader2 on Twitter. You can find me here every Tuesday on Shooting the Breeze with Matt. Every Friday on Men's Hot Takes and on the Breakman and Roman coming back. Every Saturday on Get Ready and Matt Schmordown, my other show on a different channel, and right here on Recapping the Past.
Yeah. And you can find me on everything on this channel that Ben's already said. And you can find me on my other channel, Schmoes of the North, with my friends Lou, Dave, and Daniel, where we are breaking down the ins and outs of the Schmoedown seasons. And we are also interviewing on our show, Northern Consultations, people related to the Schmoedown, be it in front of the camera, behind. We have done a whole bunch of episodes interviewing the rookies, some of the rookies that are entering this draft. And I can tell you just from talking to them, I got a feeling a lot of these guys will get drafted. Some of them have, one of them in particular, who I interviewed on the weekend, he was a last minute addition to the draft list. His name is Ross Arsenault. I think he has what they call in the wrestling industry it.
Nice.
So definitely look out for those. And definitely check me out on Schmoes of the North. It's always a great time over there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And we will see you guys next week. Don't forget, everybody, stay sweaty. And smash cancer.
Yep.
And I don't have a good sign off for this show just yet. So
We'll come up with, if we mention, wait for it,